Okay. And then uh, Vice President of Membership or Sisterhood Affiliate Vice President Cheryl Sessler will be on. Janice is also one of our team members for the Sisterhood affiliates. But let me just say welcome to everybody. I think this is everyone that's coming on that I know of as far as the president. So it's a small group, and I thank you for coming on. It was a total last minute. Gave you a week's notice. I figured you either know it or you don't, whether you can come on. And so this was a long time of coming. I should have done this in the fall and then done it, later on. But nonetheless, here we are. And I wanted to just touch base with everybody. And I think I've spoken to most of you along the way. Um, and like I said, Toby's joining us. She's our advisor. So any questions that you want to go to her, if it's about me or you want to keep it private, she's there for you. And if you need her email address or phone number, I can certainly provide it and she can provide it also. Um, and so she advises me and our group. And I know some of you have come on to our board meetings. If not, remember, you are as a sisterhood president, you are part of the board. So when I'll send out an invite to you to come, if you can come, great. If not, it's a good opportunity to see what goes on and on the region level, and get the behind the scenes look on what we do. Uh, so anyway, I have a bunch of things I wanted to talk to you about. First is about the database and about your per capita. Um, as you know, it was due on January 10th, and if you're outstanding, which there are a number of, there are 8 sisterhoods that are still outstanding. I don't know if any of you are. That's not the purpose of this. Um, uh, I hope you'll make sure that you pay as soon as possible. And if you have a question on your invoicing, reach out to myself, and I'll forward you to Lisa Katz, who's our financial secretary. So, but regarding the per capita, if you find that it's a lot of money that your sisterhood is paying, go back through your database and make sure that it's accurate, that you have you don't have members that have died, that have passed away on that list, that they're all current members and currently paid. So have you all been on to that database? Okay, so you know how to work it. Okay, good. So, and so in addition to that, as far as the database, I want you to make sure that your women have your email addresses on there. And that's for two things. One, to get Garden State Region newsletter, and 2, the Women's League Week. And as far as the region, we send out emails bi-weekly. So every other week you get a newsletter. And we just started on the off week to notify you about sisterhood events. So if you have an event that you want to publicize to our region, and it'll probably go out to beyond that as well, because our database is like 2,500 people. So it could reach out to the different regions, people in other regions across the country. They would see your program and you would get more notice, and hopefully more people will attend, especially if it's a Zoom program and people are interested in that. And as far as your programs, you can send myself and Tracy Sachs, who's the communications secretary. She does the newsletters. we can put that out there and put that, get that going. So, any questions about that? And are your members getting the newsletter? Do they want to get the newsletter? Okay.
I think we're going to ask, because we're kind of new to this, we're going to ask people to opt in, and that's how we're going to handle it. We just have to get through Perm and our Temple Gala first, and then I'm going to focus on this. But I'm going to ask people to opt in. I'm not populating their emails without asking.
Okay, so so you're going to ask them if they want to get the
Mhm.
newsletter and Women's League Week.
I know for myself, like I wasn't sure, kind of what this all was about. And I did read the first email that I got, and I was excited. Like there were a lot of programs. Like I know myself, I would take beginner Hebrew because my Hebrew is abominable. So the whole long story of my childhood. But so I at least was familiar with what you offer, because I don't think our members are aware. There's kind of been a turnover, and the person who is the liaison was 99 and she recently passed away. So, and she didn't come to like meetings for some years. So this is all kind of new for us.
We summarize it at meetings, Sheila. We do like I try to pick the top things, even though people get them. A lot of times, everyone face it, or they're busy and they just kind of peruse their emails or don't really read them. So I do try at the meetings to kind of pick the highlighted activities and just the going ons of Women's League, and we kind of devote a few minutes to that.
That's a good idea. I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah, I
Melissa,
know
you
as the
also,
yeah.
Melissa, you said you were concerned about, excuse me, putting your email out there. One thing that you need to make very, very clear to your sisterhood is that Women's League will never, ever, ever share emails with any other organization. It's just used for us internally to be able to reach out to you if there's any kind of concerns or to get the newsletters. And like you said, you were amazed at how much is offered. If you really go onto the Women's League website, you'll be blown away. Since 2020, the advent of Zoom has just taken over, and there are so many programs. And without that email, they won't be able, your membership won't be able to sign up for any of those programs.
That's
Because,
I would say that our sisterhood board, which is probably like 12 to 15 people, that they would probably have no problem. But the membership at large,
mhm.
I don't feel comfortable making that decision for them. People are very funny, even with temple emails. We've had to revise that a lot. Like we're only allowed to have one sisterhood events email a month. There's all these crazy rules now.
Yeah, it's
I
just that
don't
if they want to sign up for any type of program, if they see something in Canada or in California or Florida that they'd like to, that piques their own interest, and they try to register for it without Women's League having an email address on file, they cannot register because the programs are for Women's League women who have paid their per capita and are active within their sisterhood.
I understand.
and
Okay.
I think
I will promote it.
as far as the database, you cannot just put somebody's name. I think you have to put some,
No, you can.
whether it's the address. Oh, you can?
We're missing a ton of emails. Yeah. Which, would be a whole other
Yeah, but I
mess.
don't know. So did you see if they put in the address, if the address or a phone number is included with them? I think there has to be something more than just a name, but I'm not sure. I just
Yeah,
don't remember.
I don't remember either. I used to be the membership VP for like 3 different terms. I used to maintain that database, but I don't remember. But we always put, when someone joins Sisterhood, we put the emails in. I haven't heard anyone complain. I know the board members all get the Women's League emails. I haven't heard anyone say, take me off that email list, whatever it is. So I'm assuming they're getting it.
Yeah.
And they can opt out from receiving those on the Women's League site.
Okay, on the database, you mean you
Yeah,
can click
on the
something?
general Women's League site, when they sign in, they can opt out of getting any emails.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's, it's individual members, they have a number, a membership number, and so you can log in as, I constantly log in as my, of myself, and I can make changes to my database, my information.
Mhm.
All right, so I will double check with that, and I can let you know about um putting in that information, what the minimal amount is.
I also have no idea if our sisterhood members are getting the emails, because I looked back before I took over the president. I don't know if I was getting the emails or not, but I was the treasurer, so I might have been getting the emails because I was getting emails to pay the our dues. So I really have no idea.
All right.
And I feel the same as Melissa, that I feel like I'm already spamming people's emails about like so much stuff at the synagogue and fundraisers and other programs. And now it's Purim. We've got another thing this weekend. I feel like it's like constant, like it's actually too much. And they don't
Well,
see it because it's too much, right? They just
yeah.
aren't even reading it.
What I will say, if you don't get the Women's League Week, in the Garden State Region newsletter, there's a button to get to Women's League Week. So it'll say Women's League Week right on the top. And it'll click to the week. The Women's League comes out on Mondays usually. Okay. Garden State Region comes out on a Friday, every other Friday. And we do have the link for it. I wonder if I should just share my screen. Let me see.
You can have members on the database without an email.
You can, okay.
Yes, I'm looking at my own list right now.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen really quick just so you can see. Okay. So can everybody see that?
Yep.
Now we
Okay.
can.
Yeah. All right. So these are links. If you click on these, obviously this will go to our website. If you click on Women's League Week, it goes right to the February 27th. That was this week's release. And they have the past ones from the I guess from this year. So if you click on Women's League Week, you're in it. So this is a way that you can tell them, you can connect to the Women's League Week if they don't want to get too many emails. All right, so it's all right here anyway. And so obviously you can register it shows you all the different programs.
That's a good idea. Thanks.
Oh, look at me. I didn't read this week yet.
I read it today, I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have a good group of fellow region presidents. So anyway, so it's all here. So it's an option for your members. Okay, put it that way. So, all right, any other questions about database? As a president, you have access to your membership list, whether you're a data manager or not. And so I can go in and I can see each of your sisterhoods who have signed up. So if you can and you want me to get in and send you that list, I can certainly do that as well. And at the current time, Tracy, constant contact person, is trying to consolidate names on her list because we have she has multiple names for people. So, anyway. Anything else on this topic? We'll move on. On database and newsletter. All right. So my next question is, how are your dues being collected, and have you is it through your sisterhoods, your synagogues? It's just a curiosity thing.
Nice start.
We try, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, we, the last couple of years, we made the collection much easier. So we have Shul Cloud software platform. And basically when someone registers for the shul itself, they have an option to pay their sisterhood dues. And then the shul reimburses us back. So that's how we do it. It was so much better, and we got a lot more responses faster and earlier in the shul year that way, as opposed to having to wait for a membership dinner or, chasing people for checks and sending out email reminders. That was, really worked well.
Right.
How,
So do you
how
have your
often
own?
does the temple send you the money?
All the time, whenever
Okay.
people, yeah.
They don't wait
you
till
know,
the end of the year or something?
No.
Okay. So you have your own account. So they
Yes, we have our own, sub account, bank sub account. Yeah. Yeah, we had to set up our banking in a certain way. I'm not going to go into all there's so much to that, but we have an account that's a sub account. That's not all our accounts, but yeah, we
all right. And you're able to write checks and whatnot.
oh yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, I know you're per capita, I know you're one of the ones that have paid.
Yeah, we have total financial agency over our money. So
Okay. All right. Good to hear. Okay. Anybody
Is
else?
that
Sheila,
something when they renew their like is something in September you're getting them to sign up for?
they're actually the shul itself starts the whole registration process like in the I would say midsummer to late summer, and tries to wrap it up by the high holidays. So we're getting that done much earlier than we used to. And then we generally have some kind of campaign a couple of months after the high holidays to try to give a push to all the people that we look at databases and lists of who have been members for the last couple of years and haven't rejoined. And then, we send them notices to, maybe you forgot to rejoin, and here's all the great reasons why we want you to, join sisterhood. And we usually get a good number of people who just forgot for whatever reason. And then there's always some more stragglers a little bit later. By now it's pretty set.
So I have a question, and I'm not gonna get like, now our dues go through the main office. They took away our bank account. We have Shul Cloud or a sub account, yada yada yada. But my question is if everybody's paying, in our case it's $36, the office on their bill, they're all considered members of the sisterhood. If they're not, though, for some reason, then they're not. So then so even though they're a congregant, they're not a member of the sisterhood. I don't understand. Like, and then what, which list am I paying you for? All my congregant women, or
Are
just
they,
they're-
so is it a separate line item for the membership?
it used to be an opt-in separate line item. I have to ask the question because they just revamped all of this, like the
Okay.
recent dues.
So I would say if it's a opt-in, it's a no-brainer. They're a sisterhood member. I think if it's a blanket and they're supposed to pay $36, and that if it's, say dues is 1,000 and it's 36 and the security is $500 for the year, so it's 150,
15.
$1,536, if I can add correctly, then they're considered a member.
Mhm.
If it is automatic and they have to pay a $36 membership, is that including men
Well, they have their
or is
own,
it per unit?
that's also $36. So that's another question I have is what is everybody else, charging? Is it 36? I think Sheila,
We're charging 45. We were charging 36, but it's ridiculous to provide programs and pay dues to Women's League. It was too little.
we don't make,
Our men's club was charging 54, and we were gonna go up that high, but we just don't think, we have a lot of elderly members, and we just, they're not gonna join. And we're trying to get as many people to join as possible. So we went sort of middle of the road. We raised it a little bit, and it seems to have worked out.
We're $36. We're 36.
And mine is 45.
We charge 40.
Janice, what do you do? No, I'm not sure. She's a member of East Brunswick.
I
And
actually
we have
think
people
we got
pay
to
through
the
Full Cloud also.
40 sounds like a good compromise. Like I'd only have to go up 4, that wouldn't like.
I think we got to the 45 because of one of these meetings where we were sort of, and I don't remember, it might have been a separate membership meeting, but a Women's League meeting where we were asking, what is everybody charging? And it was more, I think the 40, 45 was very common, and that's why we came upon that price point.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, if per capita is $15, that leaves you, and you're charging 45, that leaves you $30.
Yeah, and we do a lot of programming for our women, and we don't charge for much of it, and they get small refreshments and things too. It's a good deal.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, no, we don't charge. We just want it to be like community building and, but we could make money on them. We just don't, but we do the Mishloachman note brings in good money for us.
Oh, okay. So and then you give money to
Same,
the synagogue
same.
as well?
Say that again.
Do you give money to the synagogue as well, as far
Oh,
as?
yeah. And last year we were sitting on a lot of cash. We are no longer, but last year, because of October 7th, we made a, fairly sizable donation to the IDF and we bought a mini lance for United Hatzalah. And that it didn't wipe us out, but it significantly reduced what we had in the bank. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. I mean, most of our programs are free, but like once in a while we'll do like go to a place and do a program. So like we went to a place that was like a terrarium place and it was like $25 a person. So we charged everybody 18. So we're like charge 8, like something that's like we can't afford to pay this and fund it fully, but like if pay a little bit for those programs, and most of the programs that we bring into the synagogue are free.
Yeah.
What we do too. Very, very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have the Mishloachman notes also our biggest fundraiser.
Yeah, that's our synagogue's fundraiser. It's not ours, unfortunately.
Right. Same with us. It just so happens that sisterhood members are the organizers and run it, and we get none of the money.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like on a telethon now watching because it ends at 12 o'clock tonight and I'm like watch and we've been sending out texts but we did very well this year, but we upped it from $4 like a name to $5 and we use Happy Purim and they take a big fee but they do a good job.
We're
Yeah.
$6. We do $6 a listing.
We were 5 and then this year jumped up to 7.
Us too, 7. Right, we jumped up to 7.
Wow.
But it's a nice bag.
Blinked when we went
Nice
from 4 to
bag.
5. Nobody
You
blinked.
give them to everyone in your synagogue? Does everyone in your synagogue get one?
So no,
Yeah.
that's a good question. We debated it and they get the names of the scroll, but they don't get an actual basket unless they participate. But this year we did, Sisterhood funded every kid in the religious school, which is 300. Got,
Wow.
yeah,
Nice.
it was like $1,000 and it was really cute. But not every congregant gets the basket unless they, opt in. I mean, they could spend $5 and get like a $30, basket worth of stuff. This year was a deli theme. It was very cute. But
Basket.
we only have a third participation. And so a third of the people get it. And then we have to have for the clergy and the staff and the security and, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you guys
our
do it?
synagogue charges either reciprocal or you can do for every single person, and it costs you $540 for the whole whole thing.
Through Happy Purim, probably, if it's reciprocal, right? They have that reciprocal function.
I'm not sure, but I would think it is something like that. I don't know. I don't know the program, but
You can do that in Shoal Cloud too, because we do reciprocal in Shoal Cloud, but it also worked.
Shul Cloud does it. I wonder if it's cheaper.
Yeah, that's when we switched and it is cheaper. They don't charge you. You still get charged a credit card fee because everything's through the credit card, but it's cheaper than Happy Purim. I don't have all the details, but I would be happy to get it from my Purim gurus for
Yeah.
you if you're interested.
I mean, Happy Purim, we're at like $2,000 fee to them at this point.
Mm.
all right, someone just joined us on the phone. Who's
Yeah, yeah, I got kicked off. It's Janice from East Brunswick. So I came
Oh, it's
back
the same
on. It's
number.
me.
Okay.
I might be on. Yeah,
you're
but
a dupe.
anyway,
You're a duplicate.
in our it's me.
Okay.
In our sisterhood, they use Happy Purim, and we charge $236 for the whole shul, and we get a lot of people participating, and then we also send to the. If it's an optional thing, if you want to send to the office staff, the maintenance people, and the religious school teachers. So my husband and I paid like $276 to send to certain additional people aside of the members. So it's pretty good. A lot of people do participate.
Yeah, our 540 is for everybody. Maintenance, clergy, staff, and the Madrachim, the assistants, the kids, the teens that help with the Hebrew school. So, and all the Hebrew
How
school teachers.
expensive are all of your baskets? So yours worth $30. How much do you guys spend on these baskets?
So I can tell
We're
you
about that. We're about that.
our basket this year was $18.72. That's what it was. But we like revamped it and upped our game. And I mean, we had a beautiful wood cutting board. It was in a dry erase like basket, and it had a pickle, jelly chips, everything bagel, a kosher beef stick, a cream soda, a black cherry soda,
Oh, wow.
two Hamantaschen, two black and white cookies. It was very adorable. And it was $18.72. And it was more than we've ever spent on that, but it was really nice.
And how much does your sisterhood charge per basket?
Well, it's $5 per name. So you check off all the names and it's 500 for the whole, Megillah, like Sheila was saying. And some people do that, and then the reciprocity. So it's $5 per name. But like if you wanted to just put in $5 for one person, you would get this $18, basket. I mean, most people, I don't think anyone's done $5, but.
All right, great.
At our synagogue, everybody gets one. So doesn't matter if you give or you don't give. Every single person gets one. All the clergy get one. All the religious school teachers, every family. So just one per family. So if you have a religious school student, your family gets one. So like we pay for all of them, but then most people participate because you get like a name of all the people that gave to you. And so it's $180 to give to everybody. And it's $6 to give to like specific people. So everyone's getting a basket regardless, but you can like pick
And
and
that's
choose
the
who you
joint
want to
value.
give to.
That's beautiful.
I think it's really nice, but our baskets do not sound quite as luxurious as some of these other I mean, our baskets probably are in the $10 range because it's mostly like the expensive Hamantaschens and then like a bunch of other little snacks. Like we're not getting some of the really fancy things that you mentioned because I don't think we could have. I mean, most people end up giving to the whole, I think, many people give to the whole congregation because it's only 180. It's a lot less than like 500. So a lot of people can even get to that by counting in $6 and saying, well, I want to give to all these people and I might as well just do it. So it's like low enough that people are willing to just
Yeah.
do that.
We bake our own Hamantaschen. We actually this past Sunday had a Hamantaschen bake-a-thon, 5,000 because we bake for the
Oh my,
religious, yeah. And I guess we start at 9 in the morning and we were done by around 2. But we have a lot of people, a lot of pinchers, a lot of rollers, we've been doing this for years, except for COVID, during the years of COVID. But so it's kind of a good, and then we sell them. We sell our extra ones by the bag, so we do pretty well with that, and it saves on our baskets as well. Making or our bags that we make for everybody.
Take take a couple pictures, send it to us so we can put it in the newsletter. So, okay, so let's move on. What I want to know is how are your sisterhoods doing? What are the successes? What are the challenges that you're having? And you have a succession, how are you planning for that? For the next fiscal year, if you're having a new administration for the next year. So we'll start on the easy one, the successes. I don't know if that's easy. Maybe the challenges are easier. I don't know. Any thoughts? Anybody want to jump
We
in?
had a really good we had a good luncheon program. One of our members teaches Pilates, so she came and she taught chair Pilates for people, for our elderly sisterhood members, and we could bring a mat as well. And then we did like healthy lunch after, and we charged like $18. It was like a break even. We weren't looking to make money. We weren't looking to lose any money, and obviously she donated her time. And so that was kind of a good thing that we did and the Hamantaschen Bake-a-thon, of course. And we're going to see Beautiful at the Axelrod. It's a performing arts theater in our area. So we got tickets and we're going it together as a sisterhood, and we got a group rate for that.
have you seen?
And, no, I haven't, which is so ironic. So we missed it on Broadway, so we're going to in April to see this.
Outstanding show. Yeah.
Anybody else want to share?
I'll share success. I mean, just our programming has always been very good. It's very robust. We have a lot of variety in our programming. I don't have my sisterhood calendar in front of me, but just for example, we have an author of Jewish historical literature coming in on Sunday. We have a really amazing book club. We do 4 books a year and we get really excellent participation in that. We're doing an escape room in March 8th with the men's club. We've been pairing up a lot of our activities with our men's club and our culture and learning center. And the reason we do that is because there was just too much programming going on in our synagogue that were conflicting with each other. And we've had declining membership and just too much going on. So coordinating the programming and doing things together, we're sharing costs, which is great, and sharing advertising. And it's, then it's also the programming is for more members than just, sisterhood. And we sometimes share our programs too with like other area shuls, because we live in an area that has a lot of synagogues, so we have ways to like advertise that way. So those are, the programming is really, really nice.
Similar to Bonnie, like we have very robust programming. And one thing we're doing this year, which we've never done before, in conjunction with the men's club for all the same reasons Bonnie mentioned, was we're doing a pickleball event
Oh, that's
and in
nice.
May, and we're really excited about that. I think it will be a great event. But what I want to tell all of you, if you want to do this, a client of my husband's was really good friends with Dr. Ruth. And she got, I don't know, the rights, if you will, to show Ask Dr. Ruth, the movie, for free for the whole year. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's streaming now, but it's outstanding and you just fall in love with her all over again. But it's, and it's free. And my husband's client came because she was friends with her, and she's also on the board of the Museum of Jewish Heritage. And she told a lot of vignettes about Dr. Ruth. And then we made a donation in Dr. Ruth's memory to a small donation to the Museum of Jewish Heritage. And it was a Sunday morning, and it was great. And I did have to pay for his client's transportation because she lives in the city, and we're pretty close to the city, so it was just an Uber there and back. But it was a great program, and if you want information, just reach out. I'm sure she'll do it for. She told me she would do it for anyone who wants. So.
All right. So we would have to reach out to you, Melissa?
Yeah, and then I could put you in touch with the person running this. Yeah, and everyone loved it. I mean, she does talk sex, in it, but in her way, and no one was offended. It was adorable. It was a great movie, and it's short. It was like 90-minute movie. Mhm.
Bonnie, I want to ask you, what time of the day do you do the book groups, the book reviews?
We've been doing them always on we do them either on a Saturday after Shabbat or on a Sunday in someone's home. We alternate. So when we do it after Shabbat, we get a really good turnout because people are already there, and any elderly people who got rides and stuff, they're just there, and it's easier. They're in shul. We do it like after the Kiddush. And then on the alternate times we do it at people's homes, it's also very nice to get to see other people's homes, and it's also a warm, nice way to discuss books.
We have 2 book clubs a year too. I know you do 4. We do 2 on Sunday mornings in people's homes, like one in the fall and one in the spring.
So,
Yeah.
so many of our events and meetings and our book club takes place at the temple. And now they're starting to charge us for security if there's no other event going on at the synagogue. And we're a little enraged about this. So we just thought, and I'm going to bring it up at our next meeting, but I'm curious to know what you all are doing about this, about maybe moving more things to our homes so we don't incur
That's
those.
why we did that on Sunday mornings. Yeah.
We have the same issue about the security charges, as money's getting tight and you need more and more security now. We had the same problem with any event where, that the synagogue isn't already providing security. But again, like doing it with Shabbat, trying to combine it, we get the best participation doing it that way.
Right. Yeah, in my sisterhood, we're doing Sisterhood Shabbat and Torah Fund at the same time on a
That's a
Shabbat.
great idea.
And last year we had Sisterhood Shabbat was different, and we had Torah Fund on a Saturday for the first time on a Shabbat. And it worked out well. And I was always leery about, the donations that would come in. Because usually when you have it in person, you have people pay for, we ask them to make a donation then. But it still came in, and I think it worked out well. So was a great opportunity, and now doing both at the same time is just, I think it's really nice.
On like the Torah fun part of your Sisterhood Shabbat, I don't follow.
So we'll honor, usually at Torah Fund, you honor somebody, or you could honor somebody. So we're honoring her during, I guess, the Devar Torah at that point, or the announcements. And as far as bringing someone in, you talk about Torah Fund during the Devar Torah, the Darash, or you can talk about it in the Kiddush afterwards. While you have a,
And then people are making donations for the honoree.
yeah,
Okay.
yep. But online, separately, mailed in or digitally, the email, online payment, which I'm going to be doing from now on because my Torah Fund person didn't submit it for 4 months. And I really let her have it about that because that she should not be sitting on the checks for that long. It should be submitted on a monthly basis. So, but anyway, let me interrupt. This is Cheryl Sessler. I don't know if any of you have met her. She's from Livingston, and she's our vice president of Sisterhood Affiliates. So I'm glad you're able to get on, Cheryl.
Yeah, sorry for being so late. I'm stuck at the optometrist getting new glasses, so
Mhm.
Yeah,
Here I
so
am.
we are recording this, so we'll have it. But anybody else want to talk about any successes or challenges that they're having?
Sure. We had our synagogue hasn't started charging us for security yet if we have programs that they're not there, but generally like we've had book clubs on a Sunday later in the morning where they already have security there for the Hebrew school, or sometimes it's like if we have a Monday night thing, they just won't. I think they're just covering it for us right now there because there's not that many events, but we had like a welcome back cocktail party at a restaurant. We had a sukkah event. We had a terrarium making event at this place in our town, like the next town over. We did pajama yoga that one of our members is a yoga instructor, so she taught it. We had recently just had an author visit, Andrea Stein, who lives not so far from us, and she was great. So that was free. And then actually this weekend, we're doing a special program with our cantor. It's a Women's History Month program where we actually have one of the first female cantors. She's retired now, but she is coming with this other cantor who's one of the first non-binary acting cantors. Sorry, my computer is going to shut down in a couple of minutes. So can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he is, I'm not sure. They are one of the first non-binary cantors. And so the two of them are coming and they're doing a special program this weekend at our synagogue. So they'll be there like doing Friday night services and on Shabbat, as well as we're having like this concert in the evening. So a last plug for that, if anyone's interested or if you think it would speak to anyone in your, community.
So who's the first cantor that you have?
Susan, let me look her last name.
So it's not my cantor.
Jacobson and Helix, Susan Jacobson and Cantor Helix. So it came out in the announcements this week, I think.
Okay.
It's like on the list of announcements, but it's in Scotch Plains and there's a concert on Saturday night. So we're doing that with the cantor. We've got Purim. We have a progressive dinner with the men's club, which will be like dinner in other people's homes. I don't know. It's the first time. We haven't done it for a while. It's like a pre-COVID thing and they're bringing it back. And then our Sisterhood Shabbat is on Mother's Day weekend. So we've got that coming and we are doing an aromatherapy event where you like go to this place and you create your own scent. We're doing sushi making, and then I got to come up with a year-end event. But I love those ideas of the pickleball and the escape room. I wrote them down, and maybe this Dr. Ruth thing. So I want to get your info on that.
I want to know where you're terrarium making. That sounded cool. Is that in Scotch Plains?
It's in Westfield.
Oh, that's not too far from us.
And where are you located? I missed that because I can't.
Our shul is on West Orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they have, it's called the Terrace Spot, and there's one in Westfield. There might also be one in Montclair because it's not the first.
Oh, Montclair's really close.
Or maybe it's Manalapan. It's something with an M.
Oh,
That's their other location. But yeah, it was really cute. That was a cute event. I live in Westfield, so if I'm planning anything, I almost do them all there because I know it better. over the summer we did like karaoke at Rooster Spin, which is there. So that was fun, like to get people together over the summer.
Hmm.
But
So I'm going to pose a question. How are you as far as the members helping? Do they is it all you or 2 or 3 people doing the planning, the setting up? How
so
are you getting other people involved in doing things?
there's been like a shift in our synagogue where there were like kind of a generational shift within sisterhood. And there was the woman who was my successor. She was president, my predecessor, excuse me, for 4 years because no one wanted to take over the responsibility. And she kind of took us through COVID and stuff just really dropped off. And there were some things that were like the way things were being done, and they couldn't get support in that way. It just seemed like the same women were doing these programs, like all the same women were doing these programs, and some of them were kind of ready to roll off the responsibility, and getting someone new to take it over they weren't able to make that kind of commitment. So this is my first year as president, and it kind of had to reassess, okay, where are we, what roles are we doing, what roles do we need to do. And so I've been really involved right now, but like what came out of our author event was we're now re-engaging a book club, but 2 other people are running that. So like my goal this year has been just like get people re-involved and try to give them roles that they can kind of take over as we go into next year. I've kind of just given up on this year, and I'm just hoping for a better next year, and so that someone else will take this from me the following year.
Our biggest challenge is engaging millennials, and I actually went to a webinar done by our local federation on that, and that's going to be our focus for next year. And honestly, I don't know how to crack that because I think it's an across the board issue where they're not engaged in, I call it the PTA, but the HSSA, the library, the ambulance, the fire, all types of volunteer situations. So I don't think it's unique just to, Temple Life, if you will, or sisterhood. But that's
And
What
our,
is the
yeah,
what
and
are
our
the ages of
population is
your millennials?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
What are your ages of the millennials? What do you consider?
So they say it's up to 44. So, call it young families, if you will.
Robin, what did you?
Oh, I was just saying, we don't have, like, that's our problem. We just don't have a lot of millennials. Our population and our synagogue is aging, so it's really, that's our biggest challenge as sisterhood, getting people to do things, and there's less and less people each year to do things, and that's just been a problem. So
The same people do it, volunteer.
100%.
We had a lot of people move out of the city and into our community, and we're the only conservative synagogue in a very large radius. So we actually, and one of the Reform synagogues became a Korean church. So we actually did get a lot of new members, which is unusual. And we have a lot of young members. They don't engage how we think they should engage.
I know in my synagogue we have the same problem or challenge or whatever you want to call it. So the year that I was stepping down, the rabbi and I said, let's get these young women and just get their own group together. Let them do their own thing, and they can pay their dues will be under Miriam Sisterhood, and we'll help subsidize whatever they do. We'll have refreshments for them, and in the hopes that they move in and we get them involved with other things, ask them to do Sisterhood Shabbat or do, just little, small tasks. And it's moving, it's working really well. So it's been 2.5 years, and we can see that the migration is happening, and they're participating more with Miriam Sisterhood. So you made think about that. Back in, 15 years ago, there was a group called Sahaba, which were the group under 50, 45, which is this age group. Some sisterhoods, it worked out really well with them, and some didn't. My group, it didn't, but it's a different time. 15 years later, we have a Sahaba group who I forgot what they're called, Soul Sisters. This, what they're being called themselves. So you may be, I would say, create special interest groups is what it's called, and they don't have to be under the big umbrella and participate in as their own thing. They can have their own. I mean, with the bigger picture, they can have their own little thing, and that's a good thing. So.
We've had good turnouts for vodka and latkes, martini tastings, wine tastings for the younger folks.
Are you, that's Shalom, Cheryl?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to your shul for a number of events. I was there for, during the holidays, there was the boutique, like holiday boutique,
Yes.
and then we went to the comedy night. Your shul
Mhm.
is huge, and they have a lot of young, I'd say like, I don't know if they're considered middle age, but like 30s and 40-year-olds,
Yeah.
it looks like.
I mean, I started when I was around that age, but we did stuff like steak and scotch in the sukkah. The men's club does that. And we have a softball team for the guys. I don't know why we don't for the women, but I don't know. We could do so. I don't know if there is a league. That's the thing. There is actually a men's club league in our area.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, at our shul, which is B'nai Shalom in West Orange, I mean, there was a time where I was running with a friend of mine, a 40s and 50s club, and I was in my 40s, and it was like, I guess, the Sahaba that you were describing, Sheila, and we did all these fun things like tennis and bowling and dinners out and all this cool stuff, and we all just aged along, and there's not really younger people coming in to, take our place. So, we struggle with getting people in, but we have a lot of great programming and we have a really good participation in our sisterhood compared to how many members we have. But we don't have really many people that want to run things, that want to be leaders. And that's
Yeah.
always, it just continues to be a
But
struggle.
like Sheila was saying, giving them the small jobs first is super helpful. So, oh, this is easy. I'll do it again. That's good.
Don't ever call it a small job.
No.
Yeah,
Just think about it. If you ask somebody to bring a bottle of juice and they don't bring it, you thought that was a small job, but if they don't bring it, everyone's complaining, where's the juice?
Right. That's true. That's
So
very true.
jobs are never small. Every one of them is important. Every volunteer is important.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who are willing to participate in like a day of the event. Oh, like I'll pack Purim bags, or I'll buy whatever, I'll help you set up. But they don't want to be the leader and like do the planning. That's the thing. They're like, I don't want to lead anything. I'll just help you, the day of.
Instead of just having one person lead, do you ever do teams? A team of people who are in charge of the program. And that way they divvy up the jobs and no one person is stuck doing all of it.
We do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's our board really does a lot of the programming, and there's not really others that are stepping up. So we do things as a team a lot, and we sort of cross roles, but it's hard to get a new, leadership group together.
And Bonnie, something that's fun for, I guess, for everybody, something that was really fun and one of our biggest turnouts in recent years was, the place Glassworks in Morristown.
Yeah.
So I first went there with a small breakout group of working moms. Now there's tons of working moms, but when my daughter's 23, so when she was a baby, there were not a lot. So we had a sisterhood break-off group for working moms. and we went to Glassworks, and it really was a fun time. And since then, we've had Glassworks come to the synagogue. So see if they'll come to your synagogue. The benefit to that is it's every age because
Yeah, we did it. We did
yeah,
it a
it's
couple of
super
times. It
fun.
was great. Yeah, it was really great.
And so what we did back when I was president the first time around, and I had, my kids were really young, I had a beading place right across the street from me. So I put it out to all the young women, and then I actually invited the the older women, you know, the just because, you know, I don't want to leave them out, but it, you know, just saying that this is the young women's group. And we had about, you know, out of 20, there may have been like 4 or 5 of the, you know, the older women or the, what do you call it? Yeah, I mean, the experienced people. And so, all right. So is there anything else?
I
Any,
think one thing that has helped, well, I guess I'm on that cusp of where you say millennial is. So I'm proposing programs that speak to me, and so maybe that's why we've been bringing in younger people. But something that I always try to do is find like a lot of different times. Like, what are the times that work for people? I work full time, so I assume that most people have to work between, if it's young families, and the husband, someone's got to be home to watch the kids. So it's got to be a time where someone else is available, like after dinner, before dinner. It's like I try to make sure we have events at like different times. Mondays seem to be terrible for some reason. So like figuring out what are the right times for days of the week where you can get that turnout, like Sunday, not too late in the day, or like where people aren't in their Sunday scaries for the week, you know, like just figuring out what's that right time, I think is also helpful, because there's certain times just don't work for probably most of that entire age group, right?
And in the webinar, they said you need to have babysitter worthy events. And I thought, oh, that's interesting.
well,
Someone
another
told me to-
thought about the babysitting, you asked a couple of the teenagers if they would babysit, and you offer that. I mean, I used to have a tagline on the bottom: if you need babysitting, we have people to come out to babysit.
So we used to do that, and our executive director, she said, unless you get a teacher who's like licensed and insured, you can't do that. I mean, it's like every time we come up with an idea, we get shut down sometimes. But so we have to think about that, you know. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting, you know, thing. Is it a babysitter worthy event? But someone called me today and said, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'll try it. And she was in her 40s and she's going to run with the program. And this was the first time someone called me and said they would do a program. She wants to do when they do your colors. And I'm like,
That's cool.
Oh, with
no,
your summer,
I'll
spring,
try.
your winter.
I know. You know, so maybe that will get that generation in. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Does
So,
anyone here feel that there's also other competing programs around their area and that there's just a lot? And, you know, like, for example, the Jewish, you know, the Federation of Metro West also runs a lot of programs, and our JCC runs a lot of programs, and we've got a lot of synagogues in our area running a lot of programs, because I find there's just a lot of programming, and a lot of things just conflict, you know?
So we were planning a casino night with the men's club and we were so excited about it. And we were really getting along well and everything was going, you know, swimmingly. And then we get a flyer that Federation is doing a casino night 2 weeks before. So
Wow.
we pivoted, and that's why we're doing pickleball, and we're going to postpone the casino night to next January because this is for May. So we're going to postpone it.
You need to share calendars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are all of you planning on going to your region conference?
we're not having one. We
You're
have,
having what, and what
Yeah.
about the Women of
we're doing the
Achievement?
Women of Achievement. And
Does
I
everyone
guess,
know
well,
about that?
yeah, no, well, it just will be people are going to be notified about it now, starting that.
Okay.
So,
Do your
um,
sisterhoods have scholarship funds if someone wants to go to the Women's League convention? Or when you do have conferences or programming or whatever that someone just doesn't have the funds for it? Um, so you need some kind of a scholarship. What some sisterhoods do, that they call it the Scholarship and Sunshine Fund, so that if someone within your sisterhood uh, has a death in the family or something and you want to supply a platter for them, you can take it out of that kind of money. And you don't have to go around saying, oh, can somebody give me some money towards this or whatever. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, we do that.
And have
that's
any of you heard of Women's League Leadership Institute?
you're opening the door for me, Toby.
You want to go for it, because
Our
they're all complaining that they don't have future leaders.
Yeah. So what Toby's talking about is Leadership Institute, which is over 3 days, 2 nights. It's really more like 48 hours worth of training, and you find about yourself. It's a really intensive. It's a great program. It's has been $299. I think the price will be the same. Um, this year it will be in the Garden State region. It will be at Oheb Shalom. Um, and we'll find out the date. It's either going to be July 20th to the 22nd or the 27th to the 29th. So when are definitely the first ones to hear, because it's definitely definite. So I would put money aside in your budgets, as Toby was leading towards, um, to send somebody to Leadership Institute. The region will also offer scholarships, but this is something that's really worthwhile. And the people that live close to us, to South Orange, don't have to stay overnight. So there are accommodations in West Orange that they're working out at a hotel. Um, we have meals. You'll learn about yourself, about being a leader.
It's
And
really not Women's League based.
yeah,
It's self improvement and getting to the point where you can say, well, I think I can be a leader in the future. I never had any training to do it. I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to run a meeting. Uh, but what it what it really does is it boosts your own self-esteem, and it's a phenomenal program. Absolutely one of the best programs that Women's League came up with.
so we'll let you know. I'll let you know exactly what date it will be once they decide on. They'll figure out which is the best date for them. But those are the 2 days, 2 weeks available.
Sheila, is it going to be in 2025 or
Um,
2026?
That's in
this
2024.
2020, no, 25.
25, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
2025.
this July,
Okay.
this July. And while we're on it, Women of Achievement is Monday, June 9th at B'nai Tikva in North Brunswick. And that'll be good. So more information will be coming very, very soon. So we're looking to have each sisterhood have a nominee, well, an honoree, I should say, well, not really a nominee, but an honoree. And usually the people come in tables of 10 or whatever. There's a journal, an ad journal that people can participate in, and make donations and goodwill wishes. And so you'll hear more information about that in the very near future, very near, within the month. But your nominees, your honorees have to be notified or determine who they are so that we can get them into the ad journal and start promoting them So when people register, they can make their donations to them. And it's more of advertisement and such. So, and the theme is Am Yisrael Chai. So we're going to decorate the place in blue and white, Mediterranean food or Israeli food. Um, so it'll be really good. And let's see. The other thing that the region we're going to do is the summer workshop. Since we can't do, we didn't want to do a conference. There's just too much stuff going on, and now we're doing hosting Leadership Institute. So there's a lot of information. We're not going to do a come to one place and do a summer workshop. What we're going to do is over several different days in a couple different weeks. We'll have sisterhood training, sisterhood president training. We'll do something on Torah Fund, on programming. So each night will be something else. And you can come to as many different ones as you want. So it makes it a lot easier than coming to one place at one time and missing the other group because you may be interested in what's happening in programming and you can't go to it. So it'll be a good thing. So that'll be coming up in the future. And that'll be the end of July, beginning of August. So over 2 weeks, so like 4 or 5 dates.
And if
Okay,
any of your,
also,
if any of your sisterhoods want to have a Women's League consultant do a Zoom with your sisterhood and talk about the different portfolios that you would be carrying, what it's like, what do you need to be aware of on the region and on the international level. We can set those up. They would, Women's League Consulting Services would appoint someone, one of us, and we've been all trained to do this. I've been a consultant for over 20 years already. Can't believe I'm saying that. And I love to join with sisterhoods and just talk about Women's League and what it has to offer and make sure that each person is aware of what your portfolio is and how to go about organizing it and getting a team to work together, rather than you having to do all the work yourself. We're all volunteers, and so we want to get as many people involved as possible. And that way you also build your leadership for the future.
are you also involved with Presnet? You go to the Presnet
I,
meeting?
I was president, the consultant for Presnet for 2 years.
Yeah.
2, 3 years, yeah.
Yes.
That's a wonderful, wonderful program. They meet once a month. I think it's the fourth
Yeah.
Monday of the month. And it's just a Zoom call in. The only people who are allowed to go to those meetings are sisterhood presidents. You won't find stragglers just coming in, and it becomes a forum where you can, I used to, when I was in charge of it, I called it the Kvetch and Kvel Club. We talked about all our successes. We joined together to find ways of approaching any of our concerns. Uh, and it was wonderful because you felt relaxed enough to share whatever was keeping you up at night, with other women who are all sisterhood presidents. The only person on there who is not a sisterhood president is maybe if you're having a special speaker, they get personally invited to it, and the Women's League consultant who just coordinates the meetings and runs the meetings. And right now that's Debbie Bruce.
All right. So is there anything that you gals need from myself or from Cheryl or from Toby?
I just want to announce my event if I
Okay,
can.
absolutely. Go ahead.
So, and I apologize. I probably should have gotten it out to your Women's League communication machine, but I didn't. But anyway, this Sunday from 12 to 1:30, we have a live author event. Michelle Cameron, I don't know if people know her. She's written up like 5 books, Jewish historical fiction. She's a local author. Her books are fantastic. So she's coming to speak at B'nai Shel- or
What's her
Synagogue
name?
B'nai Shalom.
What's her
Michelle Cameron. Michelle Cameron is also, she's the director of the Writers Circle, a creative writing group in that represents Summit, South Orange, Maplewood, Montclair, and Morristown. She teaches novel writing classes to adults and writing classes to children, but her books, The Fruit of Her Hands, Napoleon's, I'm sorry, Beyond the Ghetto Gates, Babylon, and this, what she's coming to talk about is called Napoleon's Mirage, but she's a really interesting lady. And we're going to
She
have,
did a program with us too on Zoom. She was great a few
she
years
is
ago.
great. Yeah, people, yeah. And we're also having refreshments. So anyway, that's this Sunday, 12 to 1:30.
Okay. Anybody else want to announce any program coming up?
Ariel, just check your chat. My maiden name was Ruben. I miss it.
Well, my maiden name is Kramer, and I miss that because my husband moved me like much further back in the alphabet, so I always complain about it. I guess you were the same, Melissa. So you stayed with R.
I didn't have to change my monogram. Not that I had one, maybe one piece of stationery. But
Yeah, I was Brenner, and now I moved to the end at Sessler. So in USY on Wheels, I was number 3 when we had to count off.
I was always number 1, Abramson.
No.
So I got really upset when someone went ahead of me. Jack Abe Lee, kind of mad at him. So anyway, so don't forget to invite myself to any programs, and Cheryl, Torah Fund is Cindy Manis. Would love to come and send me the flyer so that I have the information. But is there any other questions before we go? Because I think this is really good tonight.
I want to thank you for letting me join with you.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So I'm going to sign off. And if I had put my contact information into the chat, if you need it and you didn't get it from there, you can always get it from Sheila. And you can contact me anytime, 24/6.
Okay.
Not Shabbat.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you,
Thank
Toby.
you. Good night, all.